call the meeting to order. I gotta fire that up. Let's call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Let's start with the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A little mechanical here for a second.
Anybody else feel like their decision?
That works.
Can you move over something to you?
You're gonna get a lot.
Let's go.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Cashin. Mrs. Lewis.
Here.
Mr. Traver.
Here.
Mr. Trainer.
Here.
And Mr. Reckner.
Here.
All right, first order of business this evening is the approval of the agenda. Are there any adjustments, Mr. Ferguson?
Yes, on page 9, number 1 there. And on page 10, number 3. And then on page 12, number 7, under field trips. And then on number 3, under field trips, that date should be November 12th.
Instead of the 21st?
Yes. And that is it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Could you repeat that, Mike? What was the last one? I apologize.
Spanish, please.
Spanish concert, 12th instead of the 21st.
Okay, so Christie, you motioned.
Yes.
And Keith seconded. Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Traver.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
And Mr. Wright. Yes. All right, next item are the approval of the minutes from the September 21st regular board meeting and also the October 5th, 2021 special work session. Both copies were sent out and there were no changes since those draft copies were sent. Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Traver.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
And Mr. Reckner.
Yes.
Right back here.
All right. Do we have any recognitions that we have to go through or anything like that tonight? I don't see anybody present for that. We'll hear from the input from the staff that we have present. Cody, I guess you got anything? Warren?
Question for Cody real quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there going to be any sort of ACT prep class for the December ACT?
Not planned. The ACT will be in March. But I guess that's something I can look into for a prep for ACT, but I'm not aware of a PACT.
Well, there is an ACT that's given in December with a November sign-up. So I didn't know if I know that we weren't hosting that, but I didn't know if we were going to have any sort of prep.
The academic committee might be doing something.
Yes, with that,
CAC.
the GAC will more likely be doing a prep class for the spring version of the ACT, the one where everybody's required to take. All the juniors are required to take.
Okay.
So they're really prep for that.
But nothing for the December, okay. Thank you.
All right. Any other staff got anything? Yes?
I do. Yep.
Well, come on, the mic so everybody can hear if there happens to be anybody listening.
Okay. Good evening. I'm representing the elementary this afternoon. So, October is Fire Prevention Month, so we've had a lot of activities going on in elementary with this right now. Allen Clay Fire Department, they've been in doing presentations for all classes, pre-K through 5. So that's been wonderful for our students and staff. Next, we just wrapped up the book fair, so I wanted to give a thanks to PTO and to all the volunteers for that. Field trips to the art museum, which have been approved. We've completed a few of those for 2nd and 3rd grade. Today, we kicked off 3rd grade ELA testing, so that'll be today and tomorrow with makeups through Monday. On Thursday, at the elementary, we are hosting coffee and conversation Thursday morning, 9:15 to 10:15. We pass out the flyers, so I'm hoping that you have received that. Just a question and answer time for anybody in the community. And
What time is that?
9:15 to 10:15. It's going to be in the elementary cafeteria. We just finished out passing some flyers tonight. Lauren is the one who had all of that ready for us, so thank you. Doing the door-to-door. And the end of the first 9 weeks is Friday. Can't believe it's here already. So a lot of prep going into getting grades in. And our first student council meeting will be this Thursday.
Awesome.
All right. Any questions for me?
How's it going for you?
Great. It is. I tell you what, I learn something new every day. So yeah,
That's
just
the idea, right?
that is. That's right. So glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do we have any public comments? No? Okay. Anybody online, Tom? Anything?
No questions.
I think the high school principal would like to say something.
Okay, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I was trying to skip by that guy.
I like the principal. Way better than superintendent.
No, things are going really well at the high school. You know, it's just, the more I'm there, the more I really appreciate the effort that our staff makes and just the job that they do. And I really appreciate the kids too, and you know, just the day-to-day interactions with each other and with staff, and it's just been great getting to know the kids and by extension some of the families too. It's just, you know, it's a great place to work, and you know, and just a great group of kids and staff. It's been really enjoyable, and things are rolling along, and kids are doing what they're supposed to be doing for the most part, so that's good.
Nice to see you like in that type of role to kind of get to know everybody a little bit better, and I think it's great.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Kids come in with walking boots on, and I always have fun asking if they were taking their mom or something, or, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks, Mike, and I apologize for skipping over.
That's all right, that's all right.
We appreciate, certainly don't want to ever take that for granted. We
Yeah.
appreciate what you're doing, for sure. With no input from the public, we'll go right to the treasury report and go over the financials.
Okay, first thing up is the actual completed budget for the month of September. Kind of like Amy said, first 9 weeks is almost up. Fourth of the fiscal year is in the books. Revenue section for the month is really not a lot to talk about. Everything was pretty close to budget. Even year to date, we're less than $1,000 under budget, so over budget. The only line item that really is in double figures, either favorable or unfavorable, is the other line. And I talked a little bit about that in previous months. We actually had some preschool payments made for the full year. That's making that line item favorable. So, like I said, other than that, there's not a lot to talk about in the revenue section. For the expenditure section for the month, really timing is back in play for a couple of these line items. Purchase services and materials lines and materials and text. Both have timing issues. In purchase services, we have not received anything from Woodmore, Wood County, or actually North Point ESC. So you're going to see a multitude of expenditures coming our way in the coming month. Also the same in materials and supplies. We didn't have bus fuel into the month of September, so you'll see a doubling up of that in October. Otherwise, things are relatively tame once again. Once these timing issues clear out, we'll be closer to budget. But right now, a little over 111,000 favorable for expenditures, making the cash balance a little over 111,000 favorable overall. Taking the timing away, we're about 40,000 or so to good compared to budget at this point. Any questions, comments, or concerns with the financials?
So when are we getting the tanks put in for the fuel? Did you have it?
If you look out there, they just started
Okay.
groundwork today.
Did they really?
You remember probably, I think it was in August, we approved that to start and everything. The tanks were ordered in August. They're coming in at the beginning of November.
Oh, okay.
So we're starting with the groundwork, getting a few other things situated, and we're hoping, knock on wood, that fuel depot will be in operation sometime in November.
Okay, perfect.
Hopefully.
All right.
No guarantees, but that's the plan at this point.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, I have a few things for board consideration. The first item is the ESC of Lake Erie West service agreements for services, audiology, deaf and hearing, or hard hearing, and vision impaired. We pay by the hour. Last year, it was $85.85. It has increased up to $88.50 per hour this year. But we do utilize their services. We have utilized them for a multitude of years. I just ask that you would consider
Motion to approve.
approving that.
Second.
Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Traver.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
And Mr. Rayner.
Yes.
All right, the next one is also special education based. This is, we use Wood County ESC for multiple disabled students. I believe we have 9 or 10 students that are attending Wood County. We've used them in the past also. That is based on a daily rate per student. I don't know that right offhand. They do adjust it throughout the year depending on what staffing and so forth is utilized per student. But we've used them in the past, 4 or 5 years, I believe, also.
For those, for the rest of the board members at finance yesterday, I just asked the question, Wood County, we're not in Wood County, why do we use it? Because I'm dumb, I didn't know. It's really about proximity, just for your own information, if you're, that question rattling around in the back of your head.
It's a few things, proximity, who has an option to take our students, because we have some in Woodmore and some other places. It's just a matter of, we do look at proximity, we do look at price, but even more so these days is where can we house the actual student also. So,
Motion approved.
Mr. Cashin,
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Traver,
Yes.
Mr. Trainer,
Yes.
and Mr. Rayner. Yes. All right. Next item is a donation. This is an annual donation we received from Kiwanis. They provide a multitude of our teachers with grants and grant opportunities. $3,301.24 this year. It was a little over $2,700 last year. I looked that up. So as you can see, what is there, probably 20-25 of our staff that is benefiting from this donation from Kiwanis.
Family. Shout out to the elementary.
I'm sorry?
I said a great job to elementary staff.
Sure.
Typical thank yous, how we thank
I usually send
Each
them a-
individual classes do something, the kids, something from the kids or anything like that?
I usually
Or-
just send a letter. I send a letter to Mr. Kirchbaum, thanking him from the board and from the district.
Sure.
I think the classrooms also send things.
Yeah.
They may-
Yeah, I was
I
thinking,
think
I'm not sure. about
something from the kids would be cool, I'm sure they'd love to see something like that.
I know we do a lot of these teachers also put it in our common communicator too, so everyone in the community can see.
We just never want to be that, place that doesn't say thank you. We should be saying thank you a lot. We get a lot of support, a lot of, we try, but we can always make sure we go the extra mile and say thank you to people.
I sent him an email, response, and I saw him on Friday night at the game, thank him again Friday night, so.
Good deal.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Cashin,
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Travers,
Yes.
Mr. Trainer,
Yes.
and Mr. Rego. Yes.
Last item I have is I was asked to look into opportunities to sell items that we have here at the district that may be of no use anymore, but still has usefulness. And I've come across a public surplus is what it's called. This is a nationwide online sales application. They only do governmental entities, so this is not a public, so it has to be, your local, Genoa proper, or us as a district, or townships and so forth. How it works is we would put a product on their site. We would ask for a certain amount of money. Let's just say it's a widget for $100. If that widget would sell, we would actually we get the $100, and then they would charge the buyer a 10.5% premium, which that buyer would pay, and that's how public surplus makes their money.
That's how they fund it.
And it's basically as simple as that. The product is then picked up by the purchaser. We would not have to send it in the mail or do any of that. We don't have to help them to get here if we don't want to. It's all on them to take it. So that's basically something that I would like to get board approval. If we use it, great. If we don't, fine. Edison, Elmwood, Firelands, Columbus Grove are all districts around us that use it. There's more in Ohio, but those are the ones that were pretty close. And like I said, this is a nationwide site. So, any questions?
As I mentioned last night, I'd like to do something, make sure as a policy or whatever we do, it sounds like a good idea to move some stuff that we're done with, but just making sure our local community has an opportunity or is aware of a window of time prior to posting it on the public site that they might, somebody locally would want it, we give them that opportunity before we post.
Yeah, I talked to Dan Klosick today about that. He was going to talk to Matt Routson about that also, because I know Matt has a few things.
I think it should be an unlimited window, but a limited window of time, at least.
Yeah. So before we do anything, obviously, we're not ready right now, but when it comes that time, I will make sure, and Dave will make sure that we'll give that time frame just for local before we put it out there.
I spoke to Matt Rousen today, and I asked him to put that together so we could have a window of time before it goes on this public site for the local community. So he's going to get pictures together, and he will post that out there on social media and post it on our Facebook page and such. And so they will have a week or so to, if there's anything they're interested in.
Take a look.
So how would that look then? Are we doing like a bidding process or like a silent auction? How would that work when if many community members want a certain item?
I would even get into that, just do a first come, first serve, you put a down payment on or put a deposit on it to hold it, you know.
Yeah, Matt sold some stuff last year when we did some cleaning out of the complex out there last year. He posted it online with price. Yeah, and just sold it that way, so I think he's gonna get together with David Miswood and look at the pricing on some of those things that are out there.
Money talks. Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Travers.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
And Mr. Rayner. Yes. Okay, that's all I have. All right, let's go to our two-headed monster, the superintendent down there again.
Okay, all right, page 9, I need the board to approve with regrets that resignation there.
Regrettably, motion to approve. I don't,
When is she,
November 5th. Last.
second?
who's that? I think it was a tie. Who did the second? Sorry. Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
I don't want to say yes, but yes.
Mr. Travers.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Symbolic no.
I'm sorry?
I said symbolic no, yes.
And Mr. Rayner.
Yes.
Okay, on page 10, we need the board to approve both sections there, as listed.
So moved.
Second. Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Travers.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
And Mr. Rayner. Yes.
On page 11, the board to approve those as listed.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Travers.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
And Mr. Rayner. Yes.
And on page 12, we need the board to approve all those as listed.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Travers.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
And Mr. Rayner. Yes.
On page 14, number 1 there, the board to approve that open enrollments.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Travers.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
And Mr. Rayner. Yes.
I need the board to approve number 2, in lieu of transportation.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Travers.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
And Mr. Rayner. Yes.
Number 3, need the board to approve those volunteers, level 2.
Number 1's my wife's cousin, does that matter?
No.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Cashin.
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Travers.
Yes.
Mr. Trainer.
Yes.
And Mr. Rayner. Yes.
And then number 4 there, need the board to approve that Title I parent brochure. That is one that is put out every year as a requirement of Title I services.
So moved.
updated and everything, any changes to it?
Nothing major.
So moved.
Second? Mr. Cashin?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Travler?
Yes.
Mr. Trainer?
Yes.
And Mr. Raycom? Yes.
And then number 5 there, ask the board to approve that girls' basketball overnight trip to the Akron area on November 5th and 6th.
What's that for?
They're going to play, I think it's scrimmages. Yeah, it's got scrimmages. It's too early. I believe that is where Mr. Blackman, coach, has worked previously, so he has a relationship there with some of them.
It's a good program builder, I'm all for it. We used to do that all the time, taking out of town trips, preseason, get kids away out of their, so you get their undivided attention. How many scrimmages, is it like a preseason little tournament?
No,
5 or 6 teams, or one team, or?
I think he's just at 2 different places on 2 different days there. I think he's got one when they arrive, and then they one, I think, the next
And
morning.
chaperones, who's all just a coaching
Well, right
staff?
now, it's
or-
just the coaches. We can certainly open it up. I don't know how many girls are going to be going in
I
total.
just want to make sure they're level.
I would think it'd be the entire team, wouldn't be after tryouts, wouldn't it? Should be after one.
Well, it'll be whoever's available. I mean, there could still conceivably be girls that are playing
Yeah.
soccer or, more than likely soccer. So there may be some that are not all available yet. So we will certainly, if
As long as
we'll
we
check
got
into the
enough
separate chaperone
adults
situation.
with them,
Yeah, we'll make sure that there's enough.
And if they're approved.
Yes, and if they're approved, yes.
Motion to approve.
Are they staying in a hotel?
Oh.
All right.
I would assume maybe they stay on campus, maybe?
I am trying to remember, he told me a couple weeks ago, he asked me about this a couple weeks ago. I believe it is at the hotels, yes.
Probably have some information on that.
Yeah.
Make sure we get it.
Yep.
A motion.
Second.
Mr. Cashin?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Travler?
Yes.
Mr. Trainer?
Yes.
And Mr. Raycom? Yes.
And that is, that's all for us.
I have a question that came to me and I didn't know the answer of it. Why is our spring break not connected to Easter anymore?
Because it's testing,
Testing.
right?
What's that?
Testing.
Oh,
Testing.
yes. Yes.
So we
Followed
do
by the
it
state.
before testing or after testing?
We do it
Just
before.
before. Really, truly, it's still in the middle, but it's right at the beginning. Our Easter break is towards the end, so if you take a week at the end, that's really kind of the prime time to test. So you don't want to take 5 days then and then come back the week of, you'd be testing again, so.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I need. Thank you. That's what I thought. And I have a personnel question about one of our staff members I want to discuss. So I think we got to go into executive, just briefly.
Motion to,
I don't think there'll be any action after. There'd be nothing for.
All right, we're going to make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss the.
Proceed.
Yep, okay, so second. Mr. Cashin?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
yes.
Mr. Travler?
Yes.
Mr. Trainer?